they're doing in the Houston market, where they are legitimately becoming a healthcare provider. And that was our project. So we led that. And we've also done a number of other wellness and health initiatives. We did the Walmart Care Clinics. So we're very active in the health and wellness space in retail, helping retailers become healthcare providers, but then we're also helping healthcare providers become more like retailers, as we'll talk about here in a moment. What makes health and wellness interesting right off the bat is that it's a gigantic industry. It's a $12.6 trillion industry globally. And it's growing at about 10.6% every year. So it is a massive opportunity when you look at it on a global scale. But also, there are a lot of things that are happening, a lot of forces that are taking place in the marketplace now that are leading to a lot of change, and change specifically that impacts the customer experience, or what the healthcare industry likes to call the patient experience. And many of those changes are being led by retailers. Retailers, in fact, right now in this industry are the disruptors. CVS combining with Aetna, a $69 billion acquisition. Walgreens and AmerisourceBergen, which they were in discussions for a while, that fell apart, but the fact that they're even talking. You have Amazon actively involved with the health and wellness space. You have a number of players that are really driving a significant amount of change in this landscape. There is a term in healthcare that they call the retailization of healthcare. And we're seeing this taking place right now in many of your stores as you get more and more active in actually developing clinic operations inside of stores, providing a wide variety of services that relate to consumers' health. And it's getting very aggressive. In fact, there were no health clinics in retail stores in 2001. The very first one was in MinuteClinic, which was in 2001. In 2007, there were only 351 healthcare clinics in retail stores. And now there are 3,000 retail health clinics. And now a third of Americans have gone to retail health clinics in stores. And so the people that are being driven to these kinds of concepts tend to be customers that you really want to attract. They are households with children. They're millennials. They're Hispanics. They are younger customers who don't have an established relationship with a doctor. They're open for new alternatives. In fact, when you ask all Americans, would you be willing to switch your primary care physician tomorrow? They say, yeah. 50% of them say, sure. 50%. When I talk to healthcare audiences, they're like, what? They thought that this was the dyed-in-the-wool, loyal customer base that, hey, we're gonna stick with our doctor no matter what. Well, half of them say no. And when you look at this, the youngest age groups, 18 to 34 and then 35 to 44, almost 70% of them say, yeah, I'll switch my primary care doctor if you give me a better alternative. And that's what healthcare can, inside of retail, can represent. And then, when you get those people in the door, many of them, 40% of them, or close to 40% of them, are people that they call ailment shoppers. These are people that are walking around every day with various conditions. And in your stores, they are overspending on many of these conditions. Allergy, acid reflux, cholesterol, insomnia. They have these conditions, and they are over-indexing on OTC products in your stores when you attract them. So the business model for getting new trips from these customers is quite compelling. And there is creating now this loggerhead, this collision course that we see between retailers and the traditional healthcare market. These are on a collision course. And some retailers are starting to really take advantage of this. Right now, you can go to Costco, and you can go and test your gait, test the pressure on your foot. If you've got plantar fasciitis or other issues in your feet, you can go in there and get a 3D printed orthotic right there in the store while you're at Costco. You can already go out and buy a hearing aid at Costco. And you're going to be able to buy hearing aids all over the place because they're now starting to go OTC as well. So retailers are going to get very aggressive at selling hearing aids. We don't even think about eyeglass stores as being a medical establishment, but they are. They have a doctor, they're checking a part of your body, and then they're prescribing something to you to solve that. That's healthcare. We don't even think about it anymore because it has become so retailized. And this is what healthcare is going to look like in many other conditions, just like the eyeglass store, just like the hearing aid store, just like many other aspects that are going to be taking place in healthcare. So the healthcare systems are going, you're taking all of our customers, you're taking all this everyday healthcare business, are we going to sit back and let this all happen? No, they're starting to get aggressive as well. They're starting to wake up to this idea of what they call the patient experience. And they need to, because 81% of consumers are unsatisfied with their most recent healthcare experience. Even their frequent customers hate the experience. So this creates opportunity, because this is a place that, this is a condition that consumers don't like. You have the potential for a better mousetrap, and consumers are already rejecting what is happening in the healthcare space today. In fact, healthcare providers have this terminology called consumerism that they're utilizing. I always tell them, if I come to a retail conference and I talk about consumerism, people would laugh at me. They're just waking up to the fact that people have choices, to the fact that there are people walking around that can go somewhere else if they don't like what's going on. But they become so ingrained in this idea that you are locked into your healthcare provider, locked into your insurance plan, that they can't even conceive of people going somewhere else. But now they're starting to. And then here's a great quote: patients haven't acted like consumers before, but now more and more of those dollars are coming out of your pocket because of shifts in insurance spending. And so now you're taking a shopping mentality when it comes to healthcare. That opens up opportunity for you. So the line between retailing and healthcare is blurring. But when we look to what's going to happen in the future, it's not just one or the other. It is a blending of the best of retail and the best of medical, adding in a lot of technology. So let's talk a little bit about that. First of all, we've got an aging population. We have more people